Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We have Austin Moser. He's the owner-operator of Austin's Northwest Adventures. Spends most of his time over on the east side of the state chasing fish around with his clients, but that's not the only place that you spend your time. You do head west to go chase ball Chinook and get down here, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're down at Buoy 10 for like 40 days in the fall. That's an awesome fishery. I couldn't miss that one for the world.
You're a madman. 40 days? My God. I'm in and out. I will be there this year, but that's another story. All right, so chasing walleye, he's already caught one on television this morning. Not a lot of people can say that, Austin. I'm glad that you're one of them that can, by the way. But you're chasing walleye. We mentioned triploid trout a little bit. So there's your other fishery that you're participating in now is triploids. Tell everybody that may have missed that here on GPS in the past and others, but what does that entail? And you mentioned that they're delicious eating as well, which is why we do this, everyone. It's called perfect meat. It's that simple. But tell us all about your triploid fishery.
Yeah, they release a bunch of these big triploids in here, and well, they're not big when they release them, but they grow to a large size. And we'll catch triploids up to 20 pounds. I caught a 22-pounder this year.
Wow.
And we caught a bunch of 18-pounders and some 20s. It's been a really good year for big fish, and it's super fun. We're basically using light tackle, 4 to 10 power rods, casting marabou jigs, and it's pretty awesome when you catch a fish on a light tackle rod that's 20 pounds. So, and it's nice because they plant a lot. They plant 15,000 fish here just a few days ago, and we catching a lot of them. They're about 2.5 to 3 pounds. So that light tackle still makes it fun. And then boom, you catch a 10-pounder, and it's just awesome. It's a great fishery. They're super oily fish. They're oily like a spring Chinook, and they're just good. And then we do a combo trip where you can catch walleye, and then we'll do half the day catching those triploids. And so depending on what people want to do, we'll concentrate more on one or the other, depending on what's more important to them. And then we make it happen.
So you can go home with the delicious white meat of a walleye and then as red can be triploid trout. I mean, I'm telling you, everyone, if you haven't seen some of those photos, I mean, they cut just like a Columbia River Springer. They're as red can be with fat going through them like crazy. So you have a chance to go home with both of those.
Yeah, definitely. It's like Thanksgiving. You get a little dark meat and you get a little light meat.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Oh, my stomach just growled. Serious. I mean, I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. Now, is it a tough fishery to target them? Is it very specialized, or is it something that anybody can get into, especially if they had a chance to learn a little bit from you, if they went out on one of your trips?
Yeah, definitely. We got a lot of customers that come out with us, and they'll, get some refreshers, or they'll bring their boat. They'll fish with me for a day. We'll try to work the water together. They're obviously going to fish where we were fishing the day before.
Sure.
But that's good. We all kind of work together, and people can do it. It's a little bit of a skill level thing and a little bit of a gear thing. But once you figure it out, it's not real hard. It's hard to be consistent. You can catch fish, but it's hard to catch big ones consistently. Throughout the day, you learn little tricks as you go and be on the water every day like I am.
Right.
But no, definitely people can figure it out. It's trout fishing,
Right.
Guys run bait, catch fish on them all the time. Here, if you're running bait or scent, you have to kill the first 2 fish you catch, and you only get 2 fish. It's 2 trout here. So if you're running bait, you got to kill them. So I don't run any bait when we're catching, releasing. We're running all like, baitless presentations, spoons, spinners, marabou jigs, that kind of thing. Bobber and jigs. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. It's a lot like steelhead fishing, but not as hard.
But not as hard. Even the guy from the west side, or excuse me, from the east side knows how hard it is to catch some of those things. All right, so if folks are at home, they're watching, and obviously you can see everyone in the background. The most beautiful piece of the world. I mean, you just can't ask for a more beautiful country on the Columbia River up there, way up there. How hard is it going to be for folks to get with you to maybe get in on this fishery before you're done with it and move on to another fishery?
Yeah, we're pretty much booked till May. We'll have a few days left here in May, and then we're going to start trolling for walleye on Banks Lake. I got people that are booking for next year, man. This thing is getting very popular up here, and the people that called this year that couldn't get dates are booking for next year. So So it's a viable fishery, and it's around every year. So if people want to get with us, just give us a call and we'll try to squeeze you in where we can.
Now, real quick, I mean, we've got a little bit of time, so I don't want to rush out too fast. These triploids that you're catching over there, you mentioned that they do release some into the river itself. There's an area up there where it's very popular because that's just where they release the fish. But do they migrate around, or do they stay in that general vicinity?
Yeah, they travel all over. They're all over in this fishery, and they seem to congregate in certain areas when the water temperature gets really cold. So that's why the wintertime is predominantly the best for us for targeting the large fish. As the water temperature warms up, they spread out through the fishery, and they're not as congregated as they are when the water's cold. So they release about 50,000 fish a year into this fishery, and they start out at 2 to 3 pounds depending, and then they'll grow up to 6 to 8 pounds, even 10 pounds in 1 year. And then if you catch a 2-year-old fish, it could be 12 to 18 to 20 pounds. Just depends, all the way up into like the 3-year age class, which is probably in that 20-pound range, 18 to 25 pounds. And it's pretty crazy. They might even be 4-year-olds. I don't know for sure, but they grow super fast here.
That's just an amazing fish. And if you want to see what he's referring to, you can go to Austin's website, maybe even try to book a trip with him, whatever it might be. But I know that we get a lot of questions about you, Austin, about chasing kokanee as well. When do you start chasing kokanee with your clients?
We start that in December. And to be honest, this year has been kind of tough. Lake Roosevelt is completely full like it's August right now. Wow. It would be 30 to 40 feet low right now and dropping it down to 80 feet by the end of May and then filling it back up. But Canada doesn't have any snowpack, so they're not letting go that water. They want to make power all the way through the summer, and they don't think they're going to have enough. So that's what's affecting a lot of the fisheries below Lake Roosevelt is everything's full, but there's not much flow. Everything's like a big lake right now because they're just keeping all that water. So that's part of the reason why the kokanee fishing hasn't been great this year. We went out the other day, we got one on a bunch of trout, but generally we start that in December and it'll go January, February, and we just we try to target them. Usually on a good year, I can push people to that. Like people book for that, but if it's not good, I'll say, hey, we can go catch some 20-pound trout if you want to do that. Yeah, and then we give them options.
I was going to say, that's got to be a pretty easy conversation. Do you want to catch a couple of trout, little guys, or do you want to catch maybe a 20-pounder?
Yep.
Okay, so you're chasing walleye. What's the remainder of the day look like for you?
Yeah, we're gonna concentrate on these walleye till probably 11 o'clock, and then we're gonna switch over to trout. Like we're catching, releasing these trout, looking for the big ones, and literally I caught 200 trout yesterday. Catch and release. So we go barbless and no scent, no bait, and then we just I don't touch them. I have a de-hooker that works really well, like this.
Yeah.
And then I just grab the line, I put this over the hook, and I just pop them off. We don't even touch the fish at all, and we'll hook 200 of them in a day right now. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, all of us over here on the west side, we're chasing steelhead and about ready to start chasing springers. We're, happy to get 2 or 3 bites in a day if that works out that way. So yeah, you got a heck of a fishery over there. Okay, so you're booked up for this right now. What's the next big fishery, or did you already mention you're going to be over there chasing walleye? Is that your next big fishery?
I'm going to remain chasing walleye till about June. Then I go to Alaska for a little bit for fun. And then July is our sockeye time frame at Brewster and in the upper Columbia. And they're predicted like 400,000 fish coming to the Columbia River. It should be really good. And that is just lights out fishing up there. We'll run a couple trips a day and we'll get people their fish. It might be a 4-fish limit this year. We don't know for sure yet. Could start out at 2 and then they bump it up throughout the season. Just depends. But that's a dynamite fishery, a lot of fun, warm weather, good for kids, good for people that don't have a lot of experience fishing, kind of gets them out there and experience some catching instead of just fishing.
Yes, and sockeye, again, I mean, you're talking perfect meat, everyone. I mean, it's so hard to argue with the fish that he's referring to, from walleye to triploids to sockeye. I mean, table fare as good as you'll ever get when you're talking about Northwest Fish. It's pretty simple. Well, there you go. That's Austin Moser. He's the owner of Austin's Northwest Adventures. If you want to get out and have some fun, we can show you exactly how to get a hold of him. There's his website. Try to get out there with him. I'm just telling you, if it's the east side of Washington, it's beautiful. Great people. Some of the best locations to hang out, eat food as well, in numerous different areas over there, and some of the best fishing that you're going to have here in the Northwest. Austin, thanks as always, man. And you caught another one on air. You might have the record right now. You might have the record.
Yeah, we've done it a few times, haven't we?
Yes, we have. I should say, yes, you have. Yes, you have. Austin, thanks again. Be safe, and tell your clients thanks for being patient with us while you're out there fishing.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks for having me on, guys.
You bet, bud. Take care. Again, Austin Moser, great guy, great guide, and looks like they're just having a ton of fun. If I had that kind of fishing here in my backyard, I know I'd be chasing walleye today. I'm just saying. All right, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we come back, I've got a couple of phone calls hanging. We're going to get these in, and from there, we'll have your deal of the week for Fisherman's Marine as well. We'll be right back.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Yakima Bait, steeped in tradition, innovation, and fishing success. And by Procure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective.